Everything was going just fine. Bitcoin was moving right along. We were cruising back toward new all-time highs. And then 6 p.m. struck and bang! Bitcoin pukes! The demon candle appears. Your portfolio? Don't look at it! And then you got this jackass online saying Bitcoin is going to zero.
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? And you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
Somebody needs to scan their cat. And what happened at 6 p.m. on a Sunday wasn't about Bitcoin at all. It was Asia. It was Japan. It was global liquidity. And it looks like the monetary mayhem struck the Bank of Japan like a damn meteor. The question now isn't why did Bitcoin crash? The question is why is the global financial system melting down and Bitcoin just happened to be the messenger? Oh, and in case you forgot, QT is over. The printer is coming, and that's probably why Michael Saylor just doubled down. Strategy just dropped an insane announcement, and Elon Musk just agreed with Saylor and said the thing we've all been screaming for years. Bitcoin is money based on energy. And did I mention the Orange Man is making massive news as well? Wait, not that, though that is absolutely hilarious. But no, today we're talking about whether we're about to take both pills. Abolish the Fed, abolish the income tax, and whether Michael Saylor is running for president in 2032. That's right, so strap the hell in because we got a wild show today. All right, let's start with the candle of Satan himself. Bitcoin drops from 91K down to 86K in the most disrespectful single candle I've ever seen. Over 535 million in long liquidations, more than 144 billion wiped from market cap. People crying, screaming, kicking the air. Funding rates go negative, support levels evaporate. Your leverage trading cousin is now texting you about becoming a monk. But here's the deal, this was not organic Bitcoin selling. This was not people waking up deciding they hate freedom. This was a liquidity shock, a macro shock, a global system shock. And the epicenter was Tokyo. You know that thing about when Godzilla comes stomping onto the playground? Well, this is the big story nobody in the lamestream media wants to talk about. Breaking, Japan's 2-year yield just hit 1%, the highest since the global financial crisis. 10-year Japanese government bonds hitting 1.85%, highest since Lehman Brothers was alive. 40-year yields hitting 3.7%, all-time highs. This is the end of the yen carry trade. 30 years of borrowing cheap yen, buying everything around the world, bonds, tech stocks, real estate, crypto, and yeah, Bitcoin. When Japan raises rates, that whole leveraged monster gets unwound. That's what hit Bitcoin. It was the Widowmaker trade finally collecting souls. This wasn't a Bitcoin event. This was the global system being force-fed its own medicine. You see, Bitcoin is like the truth serum of global finance. When something breaks, Bitcoin reacts instantly. Stocks react days later, politicians, about months later, and the Fed reacts only after everything is already on fire. This demon candle wasn't Bitcoin dying. This candle was the system cracking. Japan tried to kill Bitcoin with a bond market nuke. Well, spoiler alert, that's not going to cut it. Tell them why, Saylor.
The fully diluted Bitcoin count was 21 million. And the significance of that is that means the inflation rate's 0. But the inflation rate on gold is 2%. And the fully diluted gold account is infinite because if I keep increasing the amount of gold by 2% a year, that's infinite amount of gold. If you want to figure out practically how you value it, well, when you increase the supply of something by 2% a year, that means that you're doubling the supply every 36 years. That means the economic half-life of your money is 36 years. That means the half-life is 36 years. That means you're going to live 70 years. Okay, well, what's the half-life if the inflation rate is 0? Infinity. So what's your life expectancy if the inflation rate is 0? Your life expectancy is infinite. You're immortal. You're living for 1 billion trillion years.
Like that idea.
0 is 1 billion trillion years. You're a god. 2% is you're going to die, half of you dies in 36 years, the other half dies in the next 36 years. Maybe you make 100 years and you're pretty much done for, right? And so it's the difference between a mortal life of a human being versus economic immortality. We can dismiss it if we just think in the next 12-month time frame. But, you know, if you're an engineer, it's like, well, what's the difference between you lose 2% of your energy every cycle versus you lose none of your energy every cycle? Mm-hmm. None of your energy every cycle is perpetual motion. You last forever. 2% of your energy every cycle, and you spend it 100 times, there's nothing left, right? You burn out the motor. Okay, so I like the idea of gold, but digital gold is better. And how much better? Infinitely better, right? Infinitely better.
Oh, and just a small minor bullish detail. QT ended today, and Polymarket says the odds of a December rate cut just spiked to 88%. Why? Because the Fed knows exactly what we know. If Japan is blowing up, if the treasury markets are stressed, if liquidity is tightening globally, you either print or watch the whole system collapse. Either way, long-term bullish for Bitcoin. And this is why they call it the liquidity trap. And you know who wins the liquidity trap?
Currencies, if you will, that are physics-based. So energy is the true currency. This is why I said Bitcoin is based on energy. You can't legislate energy. You can't just, pass a law and suddenly have a lot of energy. It's very difficult to generate energy, or especially to harness energy in a useful way to do useful work. So I think that probably we won't have money, and probably we'll just have energy, power generation as the de facto currency.
You can't legislate energy. You can't print energy. You can't debase energy. You can only follow it. And where does energy-denominated money go? Up. So while everyone else is crying about the demon candle, Saylor wakes up and buys another 130 Bitcoin and casually announces that Strategy now holds 650,000 Bitcoin. That's not a company. That's a sovereign nation state without the dead weight. And then he drops this bomb. Strategy is now establishing a $1.4 billion USD reserve to pay dividends. He's not running a business. The man is conducting a monetary revolution with perfect pitch. And while everyone is panicked, he's stacked. And why? Because he sees exactly what we're seeing breaking down today. Bitcoin didn't crash, the system cracked. Now wait 1 minute. Did Trump just signal a death sentence for the old system? Is this the final chapter of the dollar-based tax regime?
For the next couple of years, I think we'll substantially be cutting, and maybe cutting out completely, but we'll be cutting income tax. Could be almost completely cutting it because the money we're taking in is going to be so large. And yet, other countries who have been ripping us off for many, many years, and many years they've just been ripping us to shreds.
If tariffs replace income tax, if the Fed gets sidelined, if liquidity gets forced back into domestic production, you're looking at a new economic regime. And Bitcoin is the neutral asset that sits at the center of all of it. Which is probably why BlackRock quietly admitted Bitcoin ETFs are their #1 source of revenue. Not bonds, not equities, not fixed income, Bitcoin. The same institutions that told you Bitcoin was dangerous are now making more money from Bitcoin than anything else they sell.
And we used to bring in all these different people who were big believers in it, like Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. I mean, Michael came to our office when the stock was in the teens, but he was a huge believer in it, transformed his company. I mean, I could just say all these different people came in and talked. And then we became, we became a leader in working with the SEC and in trying to move forward in this. And fast forward now, a little more than 18 months when we first started creating a Bitcoin ETF. Today, IBIT is $86 billion.
And when over-leveraged traders get liquidated, BlackRock's just sitting there like this. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how, after the demon candle, how the hell can $5 million Bitcoin and Saylor for president in 2032 still be in play? Well, Larry Lepard is about to tell you why, but before he brings it home and we go Vlad the Impaler on the Bears, look at our likes.
3 or 4 times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Let's take a quick second for our sponsors who keep this show on the air over at the Bitcoin Way. If your wealth lives in their system, it's not yours, it's theirs. That's why we scream Bitcoin. That's why you self-custody. And that's why you call our friends over at the Bitcoin Way. They'll walk you through multi-sig, self-custody, privacy, how to run a node, and the tools that keep you sovereign when the fiat system pulls the plug. Don't wait till it's too late. Book a free 30-minute consult today using that link in the show notes. Need cash but don't want to sell your Bitcoin? Ledn is the global leader in Bitcoin-backed loans, issuing over $9 billion in loans since 2018, and they were the first to offer proof of reserves. With Ledn, you get custody loans, no credit checks, no monthly payments, and more. Visit learn.ledn.io/simply to learn more and get 25 basis points off your first loan.
The Fed is going to print more money. We know that. We're either going to have a big print or we're going to have a medium print sometime in the next couple of years because of the math. Inflation is going to go up a lot. 9 sounded high and we brought it back down to 3. Wait till we get back to 1% interest rates and growing the Fed balance sheet and yield curve control. And, there'll be a wave of home refinancings because we'll get, the mortgage rates down.
Mm-hmm.
That's all creating money, right? And so inflation will go up a lot in the next few years, okay? I mean, like double digit.
They need 9 and be able to tell us it's 3.
Well, that's right, yeah. And it'll be 18 and they'll be telling us it's 12.
Yeah.
But it'll be high.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but the flip of that is the good news is the economy kind of be working. There will be jobs out there. There'll be people building AI centers and energy and so forth. So the economy is still in one piece, but it'd be inflationary. They're going to run it hot, okay? So that's kind of model one. So now it gets to 2028 an electoral cycle. This gets really interesting. The question there, the $64,000 question is, can red team win or does blue team win? And I fear that what happens is, and people are going to be hurting. I mean, inflation, everyone's going to be screaming about inflation. And what I fear is that blue team will come in with some lie about how they can fix it. And they'll
price controls. You just tell people.
Exactly. And stimmies and free bus fares and free universal health, universal child care. And we just saw in New York, right? And all of these socialist, forgiveness of student debt, et cetera. And, half the country is stupid. We're close to half, and they might, we might get outvoted, right? And so now the blue team wins. Okay, so that's pretty bad. And they do all these things. Andrew Yang is vice president, maybe Stephanie Kelton is treasury secretary, and they do UBI, right, to help all the people who are losing their jobs from AI. And it's a orgasm of money coming out of the government. Well, all of that happens. Bitcoin's going to be at $500,000 to $1 million, and gold's going to be at 10,000 and 15,000. Okay, fine, because again, we're sound money, but it's going to get really bad, and the currency is going to fail. We're going to have that. I believe in the power law until it breaks to the upside, and the reason it breaks to the upside is what I call critical state events. Critical state events are things that can go on and go on and go on. It's Stein's law. If something can't go on forever, it'll end. Think of an avalanche. You got snow on a crescent. Snow keeps falling. Eventually, boom, avalanche. Titanic, hole, sink, boom, bottom of the ocean. Okay, fire in a theater, same story. A little bit of smoke, pretty soon, get me the hell out of here. It's Gresham's law at scale, and my sense is that will happen in that 28 to 32 time frame. The currency will literally fail. Then here's the good news. Here's the really bright part, and I haven't even spoken to him about this. And he probably is angry at me for doing this. Maybe not. I don't know. Michael Saylor runs for president in 2032. And he comes in and he says, look, I'm giving all my Bitcoin away. I'm already the richest man in the world because Bitcoin's at $5 million a coin, right? I'm an MIT educated engineer. I'm a loyal American. I'm a veteran. I have the receipts. I know where we went wrong. I know what the fundamental problem is. And here's my, I'm a Thomas Jefferson for our age. Here's my comprehensive plan. We're going to have a constitutional convention. We're going to do term limits. We're going to take the money out of politics. We're going to publicly fund elections. We're going to, there's going to be a laundry list of things we're going to do. We're going to build nuclear power like there's no tomorrow. I'm going to go to China, Russia, and every other nuclear power, and I'm going to suggest we all unilaterally disarm just take these things apart. Mankind does not need to have weapons that can or eliminate the race. And by the way, everything's now priced in Satoshis. And we're back on a sound money standard. And at that point in time, fourth turning's over. It's totally over. Right?
And that's the energy right now. The fiat system is in hospice care. The global bond market is flashing nuclear red. Japan just detonated the carry trade. The Fed is about to panic print. Trump is talking about eliminating income tax. And Saylor is basically running a sovereign reserve. Elon just confirmed energy equals money. So if you're wondering, is Bitcoin okay? The answer is Bitcoin didn't crash, the global system did, and Bitcoin is doing what it always does. And when the whole world begins to fall apart, it stands in the fire. It survives. Is Saylor 2032 in play? Let us know what you think below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pep by sharing the Sound Money Gospel. And set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. Love you guys. Catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.